Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode.
Last night, Mykhailo Mudryk had pictures of cats on his shin pads, and now I need those shin pads. I loved it. I loved it. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod, and I'm joined in a virtual room filled with scary lions. It's Halloween. I've got Ollie. I've got Ollie.
Spooky ghosts.
Whoa! I've got Ollie. I got Chris. It's the Friday show on a Thursday, and the question: what are you looking forward to this weekend? It's going to be November, Christmas.
Oh, well,
gosh,
I know what you're
don't
I forgot about Chris. He doesn't like it.
Don't start.
I know what you're thinking, Ollie. You're going to lots of Halloween parties and seeing people and being social. And to those people, I'd say you don't know me at all.
No.
I'm having a quiet one.
Oh my word!
I'm just hoping to have a weekend without illness.
That would be very good. That would be good.
being able to play football on Sunday would be ideal.
Hear Mariah Carey being defrosted.
You.
Oh.
It's going to start tomorrow. Chris.
Oh, it is.
Do you know what? He's so right, and I hate it.
Oh,
And
go on.
I don't even hate Christmas. I just hate the fact that it has like an 8-week build up now.
Well, we'll have to ask your family if that's true.
That's if you're generous, to be fair. Like, my wife doesn't like Halloween. She doesn't like spooky, scary stuff. So for her, Christmas begins in October. So, I've been, decking the halls for a while.
Nice. Look, football. I'll go straight to the football. You got Dortmund, RB Leipzig on Saturday. Man United women versus Arsenal on Sunday. If you find time this weekend to watch a game that's not Chelsea men or women, then just watch any of the awesome FA Cup first round games, because there's a fair few being broadcast. And if one of those teams are local to you, pop down, support that local club, have an awesome Saturday afternoon. I've already got my eyes on one. I got Bristol Rovers versus Weston-super-Mare, which to me is essentially a derby game. It's a 45-minute drive. I don't really care. I have spoken. It's a derby game, and I would love to go to it. But again, it's very far away, and I'm not going to do that. So I will probably watch the Birmingham. That would be live? Who are they playing? I should have researched that, shouldn't I? Did all that, and I didn't look at that.
You should have really looked that up, yeah.
Yeah, Birmingham are playing a club in the FA Cup. That is for, I want to say Wrexham, but I don't think that's true. That's no way that's true.
Nah, that would have been advertised more than that, surely.
Have they already done that? I feel like they've already done that. Birmingham, Wrexham.
Might have done.
No, Wrexham have got Harrogate. Birmingham have got Sutton United away. So that's on the TV. Both games are on the TV. So there you go, listener. Watch those. They're great. I promise you, it sounds better than I've just said. Right, news. I don't know why I did that, because that's not true. We haven't got news. We've got to rewind that.
No news.
No. Oh, what have I done? We haven't got news. We have got news, but before we dive into the news, we've got some Shevva shoutouts. I'm really bad that I didn't read the next line of the script, but because this week we got 3, and the first one landed in our emails from Matt, which
that's different.
That made a change, because our email inbox is usually flooded with scam emails, and someone who I don't know who it was, could have been some scammer, I don't know, who thought it'd be really funny to sign our email address up to an eHarmony account. So that's absolutely spammed with that. I really, really annoying, and I can't cancel the emails. I keep clicking unsubscribe and it doesn't do it.
You realise, Mikey, you have just broadcast that fact to thousands of people.
Oh well, if it was that person, I will be. I'm pissed about that.
Other people are going to do it.
Wait, it's already,
Yeah.
you can't have more than one. I'm pretty sure. I've unsubscribed enough times for it. It's bloody annoying.
There are enough random accounts. I once knew a guy who, as a joke, signed another guy, one of my friends, up to a whole bunch of stuff, all like that. There's like, farmers
Oh.
only, Christian mingle, all of it. Like honestly, and he couldn't get rid of the emails forever. So if you're listening to the show, don't do that.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. That email was from Matt, who said, "Good afternoon, boys. Thanks for the most entertaining sports podcast out there. You make my Monday and Friday commute to work a pleasure. Keep up the great work and keep the blue flag flying high." Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Nice.
We then had one via Apple, and it was fabulous listen every time. But from Blues Girl 26, "You guys make me laugh, nod my head in agreement and keep it real, which is how Chelsea podders should be. Love the winners and losers segment as you give a balanced review of the game." Wow, thank you. Someone disagree with that.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Blues Girl 26. And don't think we didn't know it's 26 for
Yeah.
Terry, Papa Chelsea. We know this.
Exactly. And Adam, my son and I have been listening from Atlanta, Georgia, USA for 2 seasons now, and this show is a great bonding time on our 30-minute drive to his youth soccer practice. I was born and raised near Seattle and love getting my Seahawks updates as well. It would make Kellen's day if he could get called out in a Shevva shoutout. Well, you bloody got one. So
Yeah,
hello.
well
Yes,
done.
he
Thanks very
did.
much. And go Falcons or whichever team are in Georgia.
He just clearly stated he was born and raised near Seattle, so he's a Seahawks fan. Come on. Right, one final shout out though is in order. Oh, you didn't expect this one, and I'm pretty sure the person who's getting the shout out didn't expect it. It's a huge congratulations to Tyler on our Discord, who announced that him and his girlfriend are expecting a baby boy.
Oh, congratulations!
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
That was awesome.
I'm sure Todd Bowley is drawing up a contract as we speak.
Right, and now we can actually hit the news. Ooh, time of the week. We check out the news you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea news. Enzo Maresca says he's now poring over PSV games from when Van Nistelrooy was manager, aware they have to switch again to Amarin, which isn't going to happen, so it's all Nistelrooy. Emma Hayes won the Ballon d'Or as the 2024 Women's Coach of the Year. Victor Gyökeres could leave Sporting Lisbon next summer for 50 to 60 million pounds. Manchester United briefed major pundits and asked them to stop complimenting Jadon Sancho, conscious that they looked bad after allowing him to leave. Man United at Kingsmeadow will now be played Sunday the 24th of November. And finally, Real Madrid have decided to adopt the law of silence. No one talks about the Ballon d'Or or the gala. The decision is to ignore it. No official statement will be released by the club. And this is interesting because since Carlo won Coach of the Year, Madrid also won Club of the Year, those trophies are going to be unclaimed. So I'm going to take the opportunity to say to everyone at the Ballon d'Or HQ, you won't be listening, but if you are, we are more than willing to come and collect any of those and claim them as our own. Happy to do so.
I'll take Vinicius's Ballon d'Or. Oh wait.
I'll take Coach of the Year. I don't know what I did, but I got it.
You can have it. Do you know what's really annoyed me? We talk about this all the time when the Ballon d'Or comes around, but this one I think is novel. What annoys me about the Ballon d'Or this time is there wasn't a single Chelsea player in the top 10 of the women's Ballon d'Or.
Oh yeah, Lauren James got 13th, didn't she?
Yeah, not a single one. This is a team that's won the title 5 times on the bounce.
Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it?
A joke, isn't it? Well, I get it. That Barcelona team are ridiculous, but come on, man. Like, yeah.
You're not wrong.
Not
I'm just checking now to see who voted for Palmer. Because apparently...
Oh, yeah, he did get one vote, didn't he?
I can't find it. They always go, it got leaked. I'm really curious who voted for
What
who
do you
voted
think
for
of
who.
the Ballon d'Or, Chris?
I think it was a great thing for a long time, and I think each year now it's just losing its credibility more and more.
It was a long time, it felt like.
Yeah, I think people have lost interest in it. I think people have realised that it's actually got very little to do about who's the best player, and it's almost a popularity contest at this point. And I'll be honest with you, I think the standard of footballers is so much lower than it used to be that I think we should just get rid of it, because anyone who wins it around now compared to winners of 10 years ago, it's not even close. You can call them both Ballon d'Or winners, but we all know who the better player was.
That's that's the one thing that I think about the Ballon d'Or is, and people don't acknowledge it. It takes luck to win one.
Yeah,
You know,
can,
like
yeah.
because you have to be lucky enough that, well, like first of all, you have to be lucky enough that you have to have like probably what a top 5 season in every, you know, in football in a whole year, and then you also have to hope one that like nobody's had a significantly better one than you, and that actually the results then in the voting go your way as well, because it doesn't always go that way.
And you also have to play for a team that wins something.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's true. That's true. Oh, well, we'll take a quick trip to Kingsmeadow Corner just for a little catch up, see how our players done international duty. So, Guro Reiten for Norway played 90 minutes, scored in Norway's 9-0 win over Albania. Norway have now advanced to face Northern Ireland, says something. And Natalie Bjorn and Johanna Reiten Kannerid both started. Kannerid scored and assisted in Sweden's 8-0 win over Luxembourg. Sweden will now face Serbia. I feel like I should have played the horn then. For both. Erin Cuthbert played 60 minutes, scored from outside the box. Scotland won 4-0 over Hungary. And in the friendlies, Millie Bright and Lucy Bronze both came on as subs in England's 2-1 win over South Africa. Jean-Francois and Sandy Baltimore. Jean-Francois started. Baltimore came on as a sub in France's 2-1 loss to Switzerland. Maya Ramirez played the full 90 minutes in a 3-1 loss to Brazil. Don't know if we have heard any more about that potential injury she suffered. I haven't heard any more, so I'm guessing we're okay.
Might be all right.
I'm hopeful. Berman for the Netherlands made her senior debut, played 82 minutes in a 2-1 win over Denmark. Boo. And Brooke Aspin for the England under-21s played full match in their 1-0 win over Portugal. And Ashanti Akpan was an unused sub. So there we go.
Did you say we have a player, Swiss or French, called Jean-Francois?
Orion Jean-Francois is French, yeah. I love it.
That's beautiful. That's brilliant. That's such a footballer's name. Do you know what I mean?
Go on, Chris.
Well, no, kind of related to that is the Hannah Hampton's been catching a lot of heat. Did you see?
No.
For the England games. Yeah, she after the Germany friendly, especially, she was getting a lot of hate comments and that, and she had to disable comments on Instagram.
Oh, fuck's sake.
And I think that's, well, firstly, it's absolutely stupid. And secondly, it seems to be because she was playing instead of Mary Earps. I know Mary Earps is really popular, but at the same time, Mary Earps isn't getting any younger. So someone is going to have to replace her at some point. And it seems to me like that there's a large portion of Lionesses fans who don't want the team to move on at any point. They just want to keep that almost, because these Lionesses are so iconic, it's like they want to keep them forever, but that's just not realistic to football, is it? Like eventually
the way you think
those
about
players
it
are going to move out.
And the thing is as well, you want that because if they're such a strong group, anyone who is going to be able to break into that is going to be good.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was just looking. You're right. Yeah, she turned the comments off on the England post. Oh, just straight when that happens, it's like when Brennan Johnson for Spurs had to disable his social media. It's like if you're posting anything negative like that, it's just straight away it's pathetic and shitty, and you shouldn't do it. It's just so frustrating because, you know, let's be honest, we'll all be similar. When we could be told 100 compliments about our work or whatever, that one negative will stick with you. It always does.
And you know, like the stupid thing is I don't know what they're trying to get out of it, because it's not going to make them play any better. These players, they don't choose to play shit. They don't play shit on purpose. Like, they have bad games. It's part of football. Like, and for me, there is a big difference, because I can hear some people already being like, well, you criticize players all the time. I think there's a difference between doing it in a platform like this, where realistically, they're never going to hear this.
And even if they are, we're having a measured discussion about it. Like,
exactly.
It's not something fits crammed into 140 characters that can't have any nuance whatsoever.
Yeah, but I'm not going out of my way to find them personally and attack them personally. Writing a comment on someone's own personal social media is a personal attack on that player. Then I mean, it's completely different.
Imagine if we went to their office, whoever's posting these comments, we went to their office, and then if they did one little mess up, maybe they forgot an email, they didn't do something, just go, yeah, sacked in the morning, sacked in the morning. You wouldn't like that. Would you work
You're
harder?
not fit to wear the shirt.
Yeah, they try and throw some like a piece of waste paper in the bin and they miss, and
Whoa, you're shit.
Who the fucking hell are you?
Oh,
You go,
Right.
oh God, the XG on that was 0.9.
right. It's time for the match report. As Chelsea, we took on Newcastle, yes, again, in the Energy Drink Cup. Jorgensen rolls the ball out to Tosin, to Badiashile. Oh, what a vintage Badiashile pass, straight into danger. Chelsea 1-0 down. I'm going to leave the room and make a coffee. Oh, we're 2-0 down. Yeah, because Chelsea lost to Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0. Winners and losers, and the emphasis on the losers. We kick off with winners. I'm sure we've got some. Who have you got, and how many have you got?
I've got 2. I did
I've
find
got-
2.
I've got 2.
I've got 2 as well. How many losers have we got?
4.
I've got 4. I've got 4.
I've also got 4.
I don't. This isn't planned, listener. Wasn't planned at all. But you know what? We've made 6, so it's 3 for 3. It counts, and it was bloody hell. I mean, I'll run with my first one. It's Mykhailo Mudryk, because I love the change in his game. I want to say recently. I mean, last night he was our light at the end of the tunnel, because he is that. I keep saying he's a confidence player, and that ain't a bad thing to a point. And we've seen that in the past 2 outings, he has been improving. That's good. He was by far the best player on that pitch for us. Because when I looked at him, I had to go for obviously the extended highlights, but I thought to myself, that guy's trying. He wants to create something. I can't say the same about his teammates, though.
I do agree. I do think, and I did nearly put Mudryk as a winner. To be fair, I did. Especially, I thought the second half. I thought if we was going to score a goal, it was going to come from Mudryk at somewhere being involved. He laid one on a plate for Nkunku that he completely fucked up. Somehow managed to get the ball.
2 on a plate for Nkunku.
Yeah, the one with Nkunku though, where he managed to get the ball going away from the goal, I thought was fucking bizarre.
Almost impressive, that.
Yeah, it was. It was harder to do that than score. But yeah, I thought Mudryk actually second half especially did have a good game.
Yeah, thought he was pretty good. I think it's like you said, Mike, he's light at the end of the tunnel. But the one thing that Chelsea always can teach you is that sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel is a train.
Yeah, that is true. Ollie, who did you find as a winner? Who did you find?
No injuries.
Oh,
That's
that was
a big
true.
win.
That was always
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that was
Good.
good.
You could tell I was scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to find some positives from the game. No one got injured. And that's a good thing. That we can. All those players who served up that performance, they can now not be out and injured, which is a good thing, I guess.
But they didn't get out of first gear, so I doubt they had been able to.
Yeah, it's a good point. You weren't likely to get injured playing like that, but yeah.
No. Oh, Chris, who have you got for a winner? You're one of the 2.
I've got Kukurea.
Okay.
I thought off the back line he was the best. I thought again second half, especially sort of last 20 minutes, he was the only player who was still playing with some sort of energy and intensity, like he actually wanted to get something from the game. And I don't think anyone else was. He was still trying to press, trying to close things down, trying to win the ball back, trying to get us going, moving forwards as well. I thought it was just another. I don't think he was necessarily at fault for anything either. I thought he actually was quite solid throughout the whole game. So in what was a piss poor performance by most people, he stayed at his normal standard, I would say.
Yeah, literally, I think those are the only 2 players that we can go and say, yeah, you were all right. You know, you were all right. I will round off my winners then, and my final winner is the club that we purchased a top class defender from in January, because at this moment, I don't know who they are. I don't know who they'll be, but they can expect a minimum of 50 million British pounds to be deposited into their bank account come the new year, because we cannot continue with that back line and this applies with the A team as well. I'm not just saying the B team. We cannot expect to win trophies without a top class centre back. We do not have one. Simple. Fofana, he's
Agreed.
good. He's good. He's good. He's not top class. Not yet. And I'm looking at Kukurea. He's not really a centre back. So I don't want him in the centre back position. Tosin, he's not top class. Badiashile, we'll talk about him later. I can't think of anybody else. Levi Colwill, is he top class?
He's the closest to it we've got.
He's the closest. Yeah. He's the closest. But that's the thing. We can't. That's not good. We should be saying he is. We need that top class player. We've always had a top class centre back. John Terry, Carvalho. I'd say David Luiz, and someone's going to go, no, he wasn't. I don't care.
Gary Cahill.
Oh, look at that. Another one. There was always one. Rudiger. Thiago Silva. We always had one. Right now, we don't have one. That's simple as that.
Put it this way: we don't have a centre back at the minute who we could sell to Real Madrid.
100%. That is the best. That is the best analogy of it. Yeah, we don't. Simple as that. Right, Chris, who's your final winner?
It's not a player because I couldn't find anyone else.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I'll tell you what it is. It's how nice our home kit looks with blue socks.
You were like me, Chris. You were scraping. You were like, I can't go in with one winner. I've got to find
100%. I have always loved our kit better when we had to wear blue socks. I think it's always looked better with blue socks. I just think it looks so much cleaner and fresher with blue socks. The all blue look, I think, should be the way to go because every kit we've had for the last 20 years, I think, has looked better when we've had to wear blue socks.
You know what? He's right. I'm looking now. You're right. I do prefer it. It looks much better.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's a fair win. That's a fair win. Ollie, who's your final winner?
Us. Because we don't have to see the B team 3 more times this season in that competition. So we don't have to watch them play as much, which is great.
It is great.
Because I'm fucking sick of seeing the B team play, if I'm honest.
Oh my word! Sorry, listener. I know you're going to go. Well, you came for a laugh. That's what you came.
We tried, all right.
Yeah, we did try.
Oh right. So with winners, there's always losers, and I'm gonna take rank here because the first loser is the Curse of Monaco. And in the history, I've got some reason. In the history of Chelsea Football Club, we have signed 4 players directly from AS Monaco. And they were Timu Bakayoko, Radamel Falcao, Axel Disasi, and Benoit Badiashile. And on a scale of 1 to 10, altogether, they barely make 1. I'll start with Badiashile because we can't. Bakayoko and Falcao's gone. It's long gone. Forget it. But I'll start with Badiashile from last night. I haven't seen a disaster like that since I attempted to sing a Whitney Houston classic at karaoke. I mean, he was at fault. For the first goal. He had no awareness whatsoever. As I said in the commentary, a hospital pass straight into danger. It was vintage.
It wasn't even a hospital pass. It was a morgue pass.
I mean, he was at fault again before the halftime whistle, in which Willock should have made it 3-0. He didn't score, but he should have made it 3-0. And I now turn my attention to his friend, Axel Disasi, and ain't no way Maresca can look at Josh Champong and not think, should sort his contract out, guys. I mean, our entire back line was this.
Congratulations for being shit. Well done for being shit, and well done for being shit.
Because it was so bad. Again, I don't want to keep using that sound drop. I love it, but I don't want to do it. I mean, oh my word. I'm sure someone's got Badiashile or Disasi on, so go ahead if you have.
I actually don't. There are no players in my losers list.
I actually don't have them either.
Bloody
hell. But they were both awful.
They were awful.
They were.
Especially Badiashile. He was horrendous.
It was so bad. It was the fact that watching obviously extended highlights, I thought that'd probably be the smarter move over a 10 to 15 minute period. I'm like, he was really bad though. Like that was a vintage horrific performance.
Highlights don't even necessarily show it all the way. Like having watched the game, he was really not very assured at all. Disasi wasn't much better. It was a game to forget for both of them.
Oh man, Chris, who's a loser?
Well, would you like me to go on my rant first or save that till the end?
Well, you know what? We'll save it for the end.
Yeah, leave them waiting.
We love that.
Okay. Well then, first Keenan Dewsbury Hall.
He
Yeah,
played.
shit.
Did he play?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
unfortunately.
Not only is he just a poor footballer, but he played on the right hand side. Like he's just being shoehorned in now because he can't play where he was meant to play. So he's like, oh, well, still got a playing race, so I'll just stick him out there and see if he can do something. The most pointless Chelsea signing in recent history. I have no idea why we signed him. We didn't need it. We didn't need him when we signed him. He's added no value to the squad whatsoever, and we will struggle to get rid of him. And he'll just sit around doing nothing, going on loan.
I don't. At this very moment, there is not one tangible benefit from us having signed him.
So some Ballon picked him as their Lion of the Week, and before
that was me.
we will touch on that. The Lion of the Week, it's really good if we were doing something else.
If we was doing who was going to be the worst player, we
did well.
Right on it.
We're flawless.
Chucked off the cliff of the week.
Ollie, who's your first loser?
Ambition is my first loser because I am frustrated at the fact that we rocked up to St James's Park in a cup competition with that team, and I'm frustrated that we rocked up to St James's Park with that team in that competition and effectively just threw a chance of winning a trophy away this season. Now I understand it. I understand it. It hurts to be knocked out of the cup. Nobody loves it, right? And we need to be able to, focus on the league and things like that because that's important. However, to lose in the manner that we did, how we did, in the setup that we did, was totally and utterly unacceptable in every single regard. If you are at the point at Chelsea Football Club where you do not care about winning trophies, if you do not care about the competition, you shouldn't be here. And that is. The way we threw the game today, I was disgusted by it. There's absolutely no ambition whatsoever to win a trophy this lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree, and I will touch on that later.
Oh, right. So this I've got to go. I'm pretty sure someone else has this on their list, but I'll do my rant and then you can work out who it is. So the 4 from Monaco that I touched on earlier cost roughly 130 million euros when you include loan fees. This guy I'm going to go on about is cost 93% of that. I did the math.
Chris is laughing because he knows who it is.
Yeah.
And he's on my list.
Yeah. Listener, you've worked it out. Enzo Fernandez, because this guy is a shadow of the player we thought we were when he first arrived. I mean, he came. Look, I've got to be fair. I'm not going on I'm being fair here. He gave away the ball 23 times last night.
I didn't even realize it was that bad.
23 times.
Did you see the one where he gave it away and Maresca just shook his head and went and sat down? Yeah. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. I need to see it though.
Yeah, find it, honestly. He gives away an awful pass where he tries to play through a player and he just hits his arse. And Maresca literally just shakes his head and walks back to the dugout and just go, I'm not watching this anymore.
I can't believe I get to use this because I said it in the Discord that Enzo Fernandez is basically a Furby. You buy into the hype because everyone else really wants him. You don't really think about it as to what you'll do with it long term, but you don't want to miss out. And it's fun. It's fun for a bit, and then it starts to grate on your nerves and you wish you hadn't wasted your money. I haven't finished here because the problem with Enzo is that he thrives when he's free from heavy responsibility, when he's just fed that ball over and over. Now, we've got Palmer running the show now. We're seeing gaps in the game that Enzo, that a team built around him would cover. They'd cover those gaps. But who are you going to choose between Enzo and Palmer? It's a rhetorical question. So don't answer it. Well, I mean, we've said it on here. I've said it. Chris has said it. I'm sure Ollie and Berth have. That Enzo will shine in the Serie A or perform better in La Liga. Right now, we just need to cash in, take the L, move on, because it just doesn't. I don't even know what we do with Enzo. And it's not good for him. It's not good for his career, and it certainly ain't good for this team.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can really say about Enzo Fernandez at this point, is there? They're just
Chris has something.
Chris always has something.
You know it.
Go on, mate.
Chris, he was a loser. Why was he a loser for you?
Well, I do think he played in the second half. He played 2 really nice passes.
Fucking hell.
And
Get
it
the
was an
Ballon d'Or back
compilation.
out, ladies and gents.
And you know what? You,
Oh no.
But you're both absolutely right, because that is the stick that his supporters used to beat you with. They will send you a 3-second clip of him playing one through ball, and it's like that's fantastic. That one pass in 90 minutes of football is fantastic. But what did he do the rest of the time? Oh shit, the rest of the time. Don't worry about it. He's the only midfielder we've got who can play that pass. All of this is I've never seen a player. I've never seen us have a player exactly like this, and then everyone realise they're crap and they leave, and everyone goes, "Oh, God, I'm glad they left," and then us replace that player straight away. So we had Kai Havertz, who had little purple patches where he was good, or he'd have an awful game and then he'd do something good, and everyone would go, "No, he's class, Kai Havertz. We should build a team around him. He's being played out of position. Blah blah blah. We've got to support him." And then eventually, after 2 years, everyone went, "No, he's absolute shit. Get rid of him." We got rid of him, and everyone went, "Oh, thank God for that." And then we got Enzo Fernandez, who is exactly the same. Just like Kai Havertz, he's not a terrible footballer. He's just a terrible footballer for us.
Yeah.
And we need to get rid of him as soon as possible. And sure, sell him to La Liga and let him go over there and be really good. And I don't even care that all his supporters will be like, "Look at what Enzo Fernandez is doing in La Liga. Oh, he's won La Liga Player of the Month. I can't believe we let him go." Yeah, great, I can, because he was shit here. Some players just aren't built. They just aren't built for the Premier League.
Yeah.
And some players aren't built for certain teams. Enzo Fernandez will not be a success at Chelsea in the Premier League. It just won't happen. He has been too poor now for too long under too many different styles of play to succeed.
You know
and we
what's
just need to get rid.
You know what's funny? We had that comment on a previous episode saying that you, Chris, were right, because look at the admin, they push the Enzo narrative. Now, Maresca made 11 changes to his side tonight. That was posted, and it was Badiashile and Enzo Fernandez in the photo. Scroll up a couple more photos, and half time, we're 2-0 down. It's Enzo Fernandez in the picture. And then we scroll up after full time, which was Jao Felix. We had from London to Newcastle on a Wednesday night. Your support won't go unnoticed. We had Tosin and Enzo Fernandez.
More photo opportunities
it's just there.
More
it's
photo
just
opportunities
there.
than goals and assists.
It's
I'm convinced at this point that he is only still here for the PR in South America.
No, he's only still here because he was
They're
so
trying to grow.
expensive. We can't get rid of him.
Well, yeah, partly that too, but I do think he's here now from a marketing perspective. We're trying to grow the market, our sort of growth in South America. So we need a South American poster boy, and
South American
that's what he
poster boy
is.
shit.
No, of course it doesn't.
It's not the best marketing strategy,
painful.
isn't it? You'd think pick someone good, but I don't know. Yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, you'd think so.
No, why would you do that? Ollie, who's a loser?
Maresca.
He's on mine, but go ahead.
Yeah, he's on mine,
I've got a
but
bone
he's
to
my
pick with
rant,
you,
so I
and
need to.
I've got a bone to pick with you, Enzo, not Fernandez. The way well, first of all, it kind of links back into what I said about the ambition thing. Like the fact that Enzo thought that he could stroll in with the B team against an almost fully fit Premier League Newcastle team and come out with a result was just arrogance more than anything else, and I really didn't like that. And then to set us up as well, like the way that we did, that right hand side especially, with Dewsbury Hall on the right, you had Disasi at right back, and you had, I think it was Vega in the middle. Didn't work at all. Every single one of those players, like Vega's all right, he's like quite technically sound, but the other two are really, really stiff, and Vega doesn't have the attributes to be able to actually account for their stiffness, right? And so they just nothing happened with it all night. Like the setup was wrong, the tactics were wrong. Didn't bring on a substitute for fucking ages. You know, like, and then his reasoning afterwards for not doing that is saying, because like not bringing Palmer on was saying that the players who were in that spot were doing well. Spoilers, they weren't. You know, it just for me, first time he has well and truly completely got it wrong since pre-season for me.
Yeah. One sub all game, Madueke. That was shocked me. So double whammy of Enzo's this week because Maresca took a huge gamble. I mean, it's quite clear when you don't bring on Cole Palmer to try and rescue this cup tie, you are effectively putting out the message of I ain't interested in this competition. We got United this weekend. And if we win Sunday, okay, all right, could see logic. If we lose, big problem because one, your gamble's failed. Two, you are now out of a cup competition we could have won, and it's been 8 years since we won an English domestic cup. And three, less games for the B squad, meaning an increased risk of an unhappy dressing room. Big problem, big risk. It's got to pay off Sunday. It has to. I mean, Chris, you chose him as a loser. Go, floor's yours.
I had him as a loser in for a multitude of reasons. Firstly, I agree with what you just said. The one thing this squad needed was games because he's managing to keep a dressing room of loads of people who want to start happy. But they're only going to be happy if they're playing in some sort of competition. So throwing a competition seems ridiculous to me that he's saying to these players, well, that's another 3 games you're not getting now. So now he's got to try and get them game time somewhere else because realistically now, you look at the B squad, it's going to play in the Conference League and that's your lot. That's your lot until the FA Cup starts. And then you're hoping for a favourable draw in the FA Cup so I can play you then. You know, you're hoping for a Peterborough at home or whatever. You know, we draw Man United away in the 3rd round of the FA Cup and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, we've got a problem. So squad harmony, I think he's really balls that up now because there's less games for him to rotate in. I think as well, this is the first time you can see that he is a coach who's not used to being at a big club. I don't care what position you're in, what you're trying to achieve throughout the season. When you are at a big club, you do not throw any competition. You cannot turn around when you are in charge of a big club and say, I don't want to win that one. Firstly, there does seem to be an arrogance that he seems to think we'll win something else when realistically, outside of the Conference League, the Carabao Cup is probably our best chance of winning something. I also hate the fact, and I think one of the main mistakes he's made on this as well is it's turned a lot of supporters against him because supporters don't like seeing managers throw games. Supporters who travel from London to Newcastle on a Wednesday night hate to see it even fucking more. It's really disrespectful to the supporters who travelled all that way on a Wednesday night to fucking freezing cold Newcastle to sit there for an hour and a half watching that absolute shower of shite. And then him, throughout the game, just sit back and let it play out. Wasn't proactive, didn't try and change it. This notion as well, and I don't know whether this is coming from Maresca or from the higher ups or whoever it's coming from, it needs to stop. Footballers, especially footballers as young as us, can play 2 games of football a week.
You're
It
right.
is allowed. This whole thing about managing minutes and he's being rested for the weekend. What are you fucking on about? Cole Palmer has played 1 game a week all season, and you're telling me if he wants to be on top form against Man United on Sunday, you can't kick a ball on Wednesday, mate. You'll be fucking knackered, won't you? He's 20. If he can't do it now, when the fuck can he do it?
It makes sense for the injury-prone players, like who have proven they can't do that. But why for the rest of the squad?
And you know what? I haven't even necessarily got a problem with him playing the B team. Fair enough. But that bench should have been first team players only. That bench should have had Palmer on it. It should have had Jackson on it. It should have had Colwill on it. It should have had Gusto on it. It should have had Caicedo. It should have had Neto.
And what, 5 of them didn't even get picked to go with the squad?
Game changers.
Yeah, the bench was Bergstrom, Bettinelli, Chilwell, Colwill, Chukwuemeka, Cassidy, Palmer, Goob.
Two goalkeepers
Yeah.
on the bench.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
You're taking the
So-
piss, mate.
The in-game thing, throwing it, is really bad. But also, last season, under a manager that was universally hated by most of the fan base and had a terrible season, got to the final of this competition.
He did indeed. You're right.
And he got to the semi-final of the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Because even he understood that the culture at Chelsea is, if you're in a cup, you win it.
Yeah.
That's the culture. The culture of the club is, if you're in a cup competition, you win it.
Yeah.
Mourinho started that at Chelsea, really, when he took the League Cup really seriously in his first season, and that was his first trophy, and it was a catalyst from there. And so many countless other Chelsea managers have used it. You know, Sarri got to the final of the competition as well. Like, there's so many managers who try and use it as a catalyst for, I'm trying to prove that I am a Chelsea caliber manager, and the only way of doing that is to win something. So the fact that he's just threw it away is absolutely bizarre. And the only thing I can put it down to is the man's arrogant. The man thinks we'll be all right because we'll win something else. But I'm telling you now, the FA Cup draw is unforgiving.
Of course.
You can have a really easy run.
Like twice in 2 years in the third round or something.
Exactly. You can have a really easy run like we did when we got to the final under Thomas Tuchel, you know, where we didn't play anyone good really until arguably Spurs in the semis. But I mean, it's Spurs, isn't it? So
true.
Or
yeah,
you could draw Man City or Liverpool away third round and you're out.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And I just don't understand his mentality at the moment is not a big club's mentality.
No, and you're right on the fans. Before I go to Ollie, it's roughly about just over 4 hours to get to Newcastle on the train, and it's about £100.
Yeah, and I know people who drove all the way up there. You know, and it's the petrol, and it's everything else.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and like the fans really didn't deserve that performance.
Your away
They
fan
really
base is so important. It's so important, and it was an insulting team sheet and an insulting performance. Ollie,
and you know what? Fair
Chris?
play to them. Sorry, but fair play to those fans as well, because they was loud all night and they clapped the players and that at the end, which I completely support. Like, I don't think booing them wouldn't have solved anything. So yeah, clap them in support at the end. But I'm telling you now, if I had travelled 6 hours to Newcastle and then seen that and seen one sub come on, I would not be happy.
Yeah, I agree. Right, Ollie, is it your third loser?
Yeah, third loser. Sporting directors. Because I'm not sure our squad depth is quite as good as people think it is. It's all well and good playing this B squad in the Conference League, but our team is maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 20 times more expensive than every other team in there. You know, even the team that we put out yesterday against Newcastle, it was worth like 500 million quid.
Oh,
yeah. And you think, where's all that money gone? Like, you know, you've got players like Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Felix and, you know, and Disasi and Badiashile and these guys who just aren't needle movers. So the reason they're losers on this is because when they first came in, the sporting directors and the new owners, they spent 2 summers getting rid of all of the players who were the deadwood players who we couldn't shift, who we didn't really know what to do with. They weren't very good. They were just hogging up space and we couldn't get rid of them. And all they've done, for the most part, is replace the majority of those players with worse versions.
Yeah.
And so now we're at the situation now where we've got 2 squads again, and we've got a situation. We've got 2 squads. We've got a bunch of players who aren't really up to snuff in anything other than leagues that they're already miles better than. What are we doing here? You know, like what are we trying to achieve? It's all well and good talking about Estevao and you know, and Andre Santos and all these players who are going to come here and yesterday, tomorrow, maybe fucking never. What about right now?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right. I can, totally agree. I'll finish off with my 4th loser, and it's the Conference League. And they made the list, maybe harshly. I don't care, because we have seen this B team dominate midweek games in Europe. You know, 4-1 against Panathinaikos, 4-2 against Ghent. We'll probably put 3 or 4 past FC Noah next week. But how poor are these teams that this squad can do that against them? Because last night we took on a Premier League team, and not the best one. They are 12th for a reason. They haven't won a game in the league since the 15th of September, which was against second from bottom of the table Wolves. They outclassed us.
Yeah.
They would, and you know what? Their team was better than ours. For all of the money that we spent on that B team, their team was better than ours.
I said before, with Fiorentina, are the team that we most likely will have to beat at some point.
Or maybe Betis.
Of course. I think for Fiorentina, though, they're the team we probably will have to beat to lift this trophy at some point. And people know it'll be easy. I've watched them play. They are very good on the counter. And I would not, if you put that B team against that team, I think Fiorentina would win. They would have them. They'd be favoured.
I agree. And this but this is the point I made right at the start of the announcement of the Conference League squad when Parma and that was left out. And I wasn't overly for it then, because I believe that those players are going to have to come in when we reach the knockout stage, and you can resubmit your squad.
Yeah,
those players will come in, because I'm telling you now, if we resubmit the squad once we reach the knockout phase, and he doesn't include Palmer, Jackson, Caicedo, those players, at the A team players, if he doesn't include them, we don't win it. Because that B team eventually will have to play someone half decent, and it will lose.
And that's what I mean. When you've spunked like 70 odd million quid plus on Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall and João Felix in the summer, instead of buying, I don't know, a good goalkeeper or a good striker, or just keeping Conor Gallagher and not bothering with those other two because he can do better jobs better than them anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, it feels like we're back to just making transfers for the sake of it. Just thinking, oh fuck it, he can play for us for a few weeks, then we'll flip him for profit in the next window. But it doesn't always work that way, because when players are shit, they don't have a market.
Right, who's your final loser, Chris?
I've just got the B squad.
That's 100%.
Yeah, just all of them, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't have a loser, because I just thought everyone was so bad. If I'm honest,
but mainly down to the fact that if you're a player and you're in that B squad, you're hoping to do the Pedro Neto and perform well, and then get into the first team, because that's how Neto's done it, hasn't it? Really, he played well in the Conference League and then transferred into a Premier League and then did it in that game as well, and now looks like he's going to stay in the first team if he keeps playing well. They've lost opportunities to do that, and the only way you're going to get from the B team to the A team is if you play. And I don't care. I don't really care what people say. This B team could go and beat FC Noah 8-0 next week, and no one's going to bat an eyelid. And no player who plays well in that game will then start the Premier League game, because look who they're playing.
Yeah.
Whereas in the cup games, if they'd gone and performed against Newcastle last night, let's take João Felix for an example. If he goes and plays really well last night, gets man of the match, scores a goal, makes a goal, he's in your thinking then for the game on Sunday, because you think, fuck it, he was really good against a Premier League team on Wednesday. He's at least, I'm telling you now, he at least gets minutes off the bench on Sunday in the Premier League. But now they won't have that opportunity, so they'll go and play fucking Noah's Ark, and Nkunku will go and smash that trick past them. He won't get a minute of football on the weekend, because it doesn't matter. So the B squad really have screwed themselves over by being so shit and getting knocked out, that now those players individually are going to have less chances to impress the manager and get into the A team.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what? No, and that's the issue as well with not having fewer games to play, and the fact we haven't focused at all on the academy is that now those academy kids aren't going to get those opportunities either. And some of them will be much better than some of those players in the B team, right? They just need a little nurturing, and it's not going to come now.
Right, Chris, Ollie, final loser.
Last one for me is, despite all the negative we have said, overreactions. Because
reactions, you think?
I tried to look at it sort of objectively this morning after sort of decompressing from the game. After a game, you get so wound up and stuff. If you don't win, you kind of have to sit on it and have to sit on it, before you tweet anything you regret. Made that mistake a few times. But ultimately, I think the players and the manager both let us down. I think that's unavoidable. You know, I think Maresca let us down in the way he set us up. I think the players let us down in the way they played.
Yeah.
But this is a normal speed bump for a team like this. A young team who is still improving, who are still getting better, who now have less opportunities to prove that, sure, but only 3 less than they would have done anyway. Right? It's not great, but it's not the worst thing. You don't want to be knocked out of the cup, right? We want to win trophies. That's important. But I can't help but feel if we go to Old Trafford and we win, it's all kind of forgotten.
You know when we last did that?
A long time ago.
2013. Sir Alex Ferguson was still in charge.
Right, yeah, it says a lot, doesn't it?
It's not great. It's not great.
What I'm getting at is that I think I've seen a lot of people throw their toys out of the pram about, you know, suddenly like we win 3 games on the spin, suddenly we're doing a title charge and we're definitely going to get top 4 and, you know, Champions League not ready and all of that stuff. And then we lose a cup game to Newcastle and suddenly now we're the worst team ever and the squad depth's terrible and we've got no chance and we're going to finish 12th, you know, like, and you know, I don't think this is going to derail our season significantly in any way. Bad performance, yes. Bad setup, yes. Reflective of how bad the club's been run at times, yes. But it won't be like that forever.
No, I do agree, and I do think as well. I think we will be in the hunt for top 4 all the way till the end of the season. I think we'll be in and around top 4 because
the B squad don't play in the league.
Yeah, and I don't think the top 4 race is looking overly strong this year. I think there's a lot of very inconsistent teams outside of the top 3. So I think that's going to come into it as well. So I haven't got a problem with our league form. You know, when you've got a team with Palmer and Jackson and that in it, I'm not overly concerned about whether we can get in the top 4 or not. The main thing I want to see is I want to see us get rid of this notion that to finish in the top 4 we can't play in the midweek, because next year, let's say we get top 4 then, and next year we're in the Champions League. Well, what are we going to do then? You're not going to play the B team in the Champions League, are you? You're not going to say to Cole Palmer, "Oh, well done, Cole. We're in the Champions League now. You're not playing though, mate, because you can't play 2 games a week at 20 years old."
Because Val Felix needs to play against Stade Rennais. Yeah, like you know, it's not going to fly. And I was talking to someone about this today, and they're saying actually, like this A-B squad stuff it's not sustainable when you hit Champions League level. It's all right for right now, but we have to understand that a lot of those players in the B squad, by the time we hit the Champions League, a lot of them won't be playing in it, and a lot of them won't be here. So we need to, you know, we need to prioritize the good players for when we are playing Champions League and getting quality backups for when we do need them in the league. Yeah, because if we get top 4, that's the situation we're going to be facing. You can't have 2 completely different 11s. It just won't fly.
It's silly,
no.
Right?
And I don't. Sorry, Marky.
No,
don't you think as well? Don't you think as well? It's a really risky strategy at the top end of professional football, like the real, like pinnacle of professional football. It's a very risky strategy to essentially have an A and a B team. To turn round to someone like Christopher Nkunku, for example, who I thought was terrible last night, by the way. So this isn't me defending him at all, because I thought he was shocking. But for someone like him, who, less than 18 months ago, won Bundesliga top goal scorer.
Yeah.
For him to come into a team that isn't even in the Champions League, and for us to go, you, B team, mate. Shell Felix, once £100 million player, B team, mate. To actually label some of these players as B team players is an incredibly risky strategy, because it's quite disrespectful to do it so boldly, to say you're a first team player, you're a reserve team player. Like,
is it not true,
because yeah, it is. Of course,
it's
it is
true, but don't say it.
But that wouldn't happen. Like, realistically, that wouldn't happen normally, because you wouldn't have a second full 11. You know, like, yes, Nkunku and Felix might be on the bench now.
Yeah.
And yes, they might play in the Carabao Cup. But you'd also have some of the first team still playing in the Carabao Cup, because you haven't got a full 11.
That's
put
one
out.
thing actually that's worth talking about actually, because if you do totally different 11s, how do you then expect players to build chemistry on the pitch
You
with the
can't.
players in the
No,
first
it
team
won't
when
work.
they will eventually need to make the transition over?
Exactly.
You know,
can't.
say
That-
Jackson gets injured tomorrow, right? You know, dislocates his thumb or something, right? And you know,
That's
then
interesting.
Nkunku needs to come in. I don't know, plays too much PlayStation or something.
Hmm.
Like, then you bring in Nkunku in, and suddenly he's not making the runs that Jackson's making. He's not making the passes Jackson's making. He's not in the positions Jackson's in because the players around him are different.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
But that is why teams don't do it.
Yeah,
Like you
exactly.
look at it, and yes, you have 25-man squads, but realistically, I would say you have, outside of goalkeepers, you probably have 18 first team players, and then you have academy lads make up the rest of the numbers. They're just really there just to make up the numbers. So you've got your starting 11, your strongest starting 11, and then you've got 5-6 players who rotate without when those players need a rest. But it's not two different teams, because if Caicedo plays shit and Lavia came in, Lavia would just take his place if he played better. It doesn't. It's not the same, but they're all working in the same. So Lavia wouldn't be playing with 10 different players every time he plays. He'd be playing with the first team because he's literally just come in for Caicedo when he needs a rest.
Right. Emojis that what are we dropping? I have gone early. I've gone the middle finger emoji because that's essentially what Maresca did toward the competition. Who else?
Yeah,
I like it.
I've gone with it's typical for the time of year, gravestone emoji, because our chance of winning the Carabao Cup is dead, and that was a fucking spooky performance.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna go with the rolling your eyes, because that's what I did when I heard people saying, "Wow, he needs to rest our players for Sunday."
Right, it's now time for loser of the week, lion of the week. So we'll check in on our midweek picks, and Berth went with Felix, so that wasn't a great start. Chris, you went with Badia Shield, so that wasn't good.
Brilliant start.
I went with Nkunku, he weren't great. Ollie went with Dewsbury Hall, and the wheel went
And 0 for 4, fucking hell.
Yeah, someone has to be. We always have to pick a winner, but I'm struggling.
Who did the wheel have?
Enzo.
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
I guess it'd have to be him.
Fuck off. No, it isn't.
He had a better game than everyone else on that list.
You're saying Enzo had a better game than Nkunku or Felix?
Yeah.
I can't. Oh my! I always want to. No.
Do you know what? And this is by very slim margins here, but I think the fact that Nkunku was in the right positions to fuck up his chances.
Wow. How low this ball.
Yeah, I would say
Bars in hell, ladies and gentlemen.
He probably takes it.
Mikhailo Mudryk is the actual lion, let's be honest.
Yeah. He's
doing well. He's there, he is. Oh, he's having a great one.
He won't kick a ball on Sunday either.
No.
Well, you know he won't.
This weekend we do take on Manchester United in a game some are calling the Mark Bosnich derby. That's me. Who are you choosing?
I'd call it the Juan Sebastian Veron derby.
Oh, class throwback.
Nice.
Mark Hughes. There's a throwback.
Yeah.
Juan Mata derby. It could be. There's a few in there. I'm gonna go with Nicholas Jackson.
Okay.
Nice.
I think he's for real.
I struggle every flipping week.
Do you know, I'm struggling because I really don't know how the game's going to go.
Someone just pick Palmer. It's fine.
Before Ten Hag got sacked, I'd have been really confident going into this game. But the fact that he's been sacked, and then they had a good win yesterday as well, albeit against Leicester's academy team or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a bounce there, so I am worried that. So I'm gonna go more defensive, I think, and I'm gonna go with Reece James.
Good shout. Do you know the wheel went with Cole Palmer? It's gone. I'm not risking this. I'm not risking this.
The wheel's gone. You're an idiot, Chris.
The wheel was really disappointed with its Enzo pick in midweek. That's all.
Yeah. Oh my word. I think I'm siding it's too easy to go Palmer, isn't it?
You gotta pick someone different.
Go on. Go Neto.
No, I did pick him against Panathinaikos. I didn't win that one. Dewsbury Hall won it. So
Pick him Kunku. Redemption.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. You know what?
Madueke?
You know what? I'm gonna go Madueke. I'm expecting something. I don't know why I'm expecting something. Something's happening.
All right,
So-
well,
I
we'll
thought
get
he
back
was
to this
all
to see
right
what you
as well.
expected.
I
Right.
thought he was all right when he came on against Newcastle, by the way, Madueke.
Yeah, he was all right.
Questions. Christmas questions. Alexander, is it time to sell Enzo Fernandez? It was last
Yes.
summer.
I was going to say 6 months ago.
Yep. Lloydo has asked what our takes were on Fernandez in that first half. Looked completely lost. Yeah, we you just rewind and you're here.
Rewind, yeah.
Vic Ferreira, after João Felix's performance today, shouldn't he get more playing time in the Prem?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Is that a joke?
I don't
question,
know. I don't know.
Was that meant to be sarcastic? I don't understand that question.
I like this one
uh,
better.
The
Merger,
chance he missed alone.
yeah, it weren't great, was it? Merger clause. I'll do the two of his or hers. Should we call Santos back from loan in December? Perfect 6 for the B squad and cover for Lavia.
No,
I think let him finish the season.
Keep him well the fuck away from our midfield.
You know-
for a while.
You know who I'd recall if we was going to recall someone?
Trevor.
Ugachukwu.
Ugachukwu.
Oh, okay.
Ugachukwu, physical presence in midfield is
Yeah.
desperately needed.
And
And he's
who,
at a shit loan. We're a club that's going to get relegated.
yeah,
Exactly.
Who retires with the most league goals? Mudryk, Madueke, Sancho, or Neto?
Neto.
Oh,
Really?
man.
Yeah.
Retires with the most league
Well, you
goals.
got to remember.
Well,
he's
it's not
already-
Mudryk.
He's already ahead, isn't he?
Oh, he's ahead. Those, yeah, yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah,
but he is a little older.
but he is a bit older, isn't he?
Mm.
Then, like, he's 25, isn't he, now, I
Yeah,
think?
but I can see him becoming a bit of a Pedro kind of type. Not a Pedro Neto type, but like a
Pedro's
Pedro
still playing. He scored tonight for Lazio.
I mean,
He's
like-
37.
He works off both channels, tricky, can always finish.
Don't know, though. He does rely on pace a lot.
Yeah, maybe.
So did
I'm
Aubameyang,
fine.
and he's doing all right.
I'm going to go... Oh, I don't know. It's going to be close, but I reckon maybe Madueke
I think it has to be Madueke or Neto.
or Neto, yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
Sancho's
yeah.
not just not a goal scorer, is he? And
I like-
Mudryk is a Schrodinger's box of whether he's going to become a good footballer or not.
I'm going to take the Madueke one. I think that's the better option. Right, Lone Army.
Oh, I
Okay.
forgot about this.
Oh, well, we haven't played it in a while because you'll find out when I tell you the category.
sake.
The category is they played for both. Chelsea
Oh.
played Newcastle twice in a week, and this was meant to be last week's episode, but whatever. So to continue the theme, I want you to name every player who's played for both teams. This is according to FB Ref. There are 12 lovely names on this list. Lovely 12 names. So, and I don't believe there is a women's team player. No, there is not. So it's all men's players on this list.
They have to have made a senior appearance for both teams.
I believe so. I believe that's how FB Ref treasure it, track it even. So,
Okay.
I'm going to go to Ollie. We'll go Ollie first.
It's an easy one, isn't it? Lewis Hall.
He's on that list.
Nice. I'm going to go with Livramento.
He's on that list.
Did he make a senior appearance for us?
He must have. He's been in the kit.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with Demba Ba.
Yeah.
Oh, Ole, that is a great shout, by the way.
Wonderful player. Absolutely wonderful player. Killed it out in Turkey when he was there. What's he? I don't know what he's doing now.
Here's a bit of throwback for you. Kennedy.
Kennedy's on that.
He did play for Newcastle, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Loic Remy.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good shout. Did Celestine Babiaro?
Yep.
Damien Duff.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Five names.
5 names left.
5 names left.
Jeremy.
Jeremy's on that list.
Ooh, okay. Scott Parker.
Scott Parker is on
Yeah.
that list.
Good shout.
I've only got one left, Chris.
No way. I'm curious to see who that one is. We might find out.
I don't even know if I've got one left.
Oh,
Where's
You know
the
what?
Bundy alarm?
what?
Gavin Peacock.
Gavin Peacock is on the list.
Gavin
That's-
Peacock. Fucking hell.
2 left.
Okay. I can't remember if he ever played a senior game for Chelsea, but I'll give it a go because I know he played for Newcastle. Christian Atsu.
Nice.
Yes, he's on the list.
Oh my god.
Well done, Ollie.
If you can get the last one, you deserve it. I
can't count. There's another 2. He didn't actually play in the league for us, by the way, Atsu, but he did play for us.
Besson.
No. Hang on. Did Atsu play? Let me just double check this.
Ooh, VAR.
There's a VAR check here because
VAR review.
I don't think he played in an actual non-preseason friendly.
He might not have done. I know he was in our academy, wasn't he? And I don't
He
know
never.
if
No, he didn't play for us. Oh, I can't. Besson's
hang
not
on,
in there either.
Yeah, so we're back to neutral.
Yeah.
Is okay.
Yeah.
Patrick Van Arnholt.
He's on there. One more left.
Oh, Ollie, where have you pulled that from?
He was a great player for us. Well, sort of.
Patrick Van Arnholt, fair
Known for
fucking play to you.
Newcastle, known for his time at Palace, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I really don't know now. No, I'm out. Fair play, Ollie. You've done well.
You could have had Lauren Charvet.
Who?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
1998. He played for us on loan. So there you go.
Okay. If either of us got that, you'd know we were cheating.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do a
I've
quick.
never even heard of him.
I'll do a quick Hazard's headliners. 5 clues. Someone's in the news. First clue: he moved from his first club to his second for €1 in exchange for a huge sell-on fee if he was to ever be sold on. His parents named him after a very popular British pop band. He started the 2018-19 UEFA Nations League final, which his country lost 1-0 to Portugal. Now we're getting really easy clues. He has played his club football so far only in the Netherlands and Spain. And the final clue: he joined Barcelona for €75 million in 2019.
Frankie de Jong.
Oh, yes. And he was named after Frankie Goes to Hollywood. So there you go. And
I did not know that.
Neither did I till I was doing these lists.
Isn't it Frankie though, with an E?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they named him after
spelled it wrong.
Frankie. Hey, I'm not his mum or dad.
They're
So-
just Dutch, right?
And the reason he's in the news is not because it's spelt wrong. It's because it was revealed by The Athletic that in 2022, Man United, in an attempt to convince De Jong to come, produced a video clip of him with some of their legends and sent it to him. Frankie did not watch the video.
Wow. That's embarrassing.
Man United.
Gold content. Right, listeners, we're at the end of another episode. Thank you, of course, for listening to this episode. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Monday because there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers from Chelsea and Man United. And of course, Everton versus Chelsea women. Big game, both sides. So, till next time, that is going to be us signing off.
You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.